cool. Welcome everyone. I'm so glad you're here. If you're here joining us and you're in the chat, say hi. Let us know how things are going. We're going to be talking about procrastination. We're going to be talking about clumsiness. We're going to be talking about finding your people on LinkedIn. April is one of my people, and we have only interacted on and around LinkedIn. But we're going to meet soon. We're excited. So let us know if you're here. Say hi in the chat. And in the meantime,
don't wait too late. Don't wait too late to do it. Like, don't procrastinate till the end of the live stream.
Yeah, don't tell us like, oh, I'm here now, but I'll comment later. That's procrastination. That's not what we're about. We're about getting rid of procrastination. Yeah, thanks for the clarification. Cool. So, April, why don't we start with how we met each other?
Okay. Oh, this is so exciting. Yeah. I always forget who actually connected us, though. You remember this, but I can never remember this.
It was a man named Jack, who's not on LinkedIn anymore, who had broken his arm.
That's why I can't remember.
Yeah, he had broken his arm, like shattered his arm.
Horribly,
horribly. And he had found one of my posts, and woohoo, we've got Adam watching.
Do you know Adam's my neighbor too? Do you know how close he is to us?
No.
Yeah, he literally lives like 2 or 3 miles from me.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's so funny. Oh, I knew he was in Virginia, but I didn't know he was so close to you.
Yeah.
Well, Adam, maybe he'll come up for happy hour when we do that. We're gonna come on that. But anyway, so Jack had shattered his arm doing something stupid, like he fell out of his truck or something that wasn't moving. And he found one of my posts where I had posted about breaking both of my shoulders, doing something even more stupid, which was chasing a Roomba vacuum across a wood floor, slipping on the wood floor, launching forward, arms over my head,
Supermaning,
shoulders breaking, inability to touch my face, put my pants on, be independent. And when I met Jack, he had met you on LinkedIn as well. And he was like, you need to know April Palmer. And so I think I reached out to you and I was like, Jack said we need to know each other.
Right. Yeah. And that was right about the time that I had been running down the beach with one of my kids, and like no apparent anything happened. And I completely ruptured my Achilles tendon and my posterior talofibular ligament, which for those of you who don't know is like the thing that holds the bones in your feet together, which is kind of important. So I have a really nice pig tendon in there now, though. So like I'm part bacon. I'm a real snack.
That's
in case you're wondering.
That's amazing.
And this is our single.
I just have titanium, so you can't break it. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, I have. I am X-ray machine proof at the airport.
Nice.
And because it's titanium, I can still have an MRI. For some reason, they wanted to make sure I could still go into an MRI machine. That
right. They're just planning for the future.
At some point.
Oh my God, I love it.
To go in an MRI machine.
Oh my God. Hi, Tanya.
Hey, Tanya. Thanks for coming.
Oh my gosh. Tanya's coming on my live on August 5th. I'm so excited.
Oh,
so
amazing. I'm a big fan.
You should have her come on here. Mm-hmm. And yes, Tanya, I am planning on getting a bacon or a pig tattoo on like right where my scar is, because I snort, laugh, and I have a pig tendon, and it just feels like it all comes together, right?
Yeah, amazing. We've got a hi from Iowa.
And cyborgs from Seth. I love it. So yeah, that's true. Okay, so Jack connected us, but the cool thing was, I feel like, is that we just immediately connected. Like there was some sort of energy there where we were like, oh, we're officially best friends.
Right.
And then you came on my live last week, I think, or the week before.
Yeah.
I don't know time. Times are really hard.
Yeah, I'm going to say last week. It could have been like 3 years ago, but it all blends together.
Who knows? Yeah. And that was actually the first time that we had like spoken to each other, but we had no idea. Like I didn't know that. We've we've connected so much in our DMs. Y'all, like the things that we've told each other in the DMs are very much like pajama party, bottle of wine type of situation. And
Yeah.
so it was so funny to realize that. And we've watched each other on live. And then when right before you popped into my DMs and you're like, did you know we've never actually met? And I was like, that's so crazy. So we even the typical procrastinators, we like delayed our meeting for as long as we possibly could too. So
Right. Yeah. The DMs really worked for us for a long time. And we live near each other.
yeah.
So we're a couple of hours away from each other. So we're going to be organizing a happy hour in Virginia sometime soon. Stay tuned. If you're in the DC area, the Richmond area, Baltimore, like, and you're willing to do a little travel to come to a happy hour, stay tuned and like DM us. We're building a little group chat in the LinkedIn DMs for anybody who wants to attend that. We'd love to see you there.
So much fun.
Yeah. So yeah, so we built this like really intimate, sharing deep dark secrets kind of friendship from like, you know, out of clumsiness and freak accidents. And I am a person who like doesn't do anything. I take no risks. We've got
AJ. Oh my gosh, AJ is absolutely amazing. She is part of the VCU Da Vinci Center where I also teach, and like so much fun. And we'll have to drag our friend Allison along with us too because she's amazing.
Awesome. And we've got Konnichiwa from Japan from Mark.
Hey, Mark.
The Zen sandwich guy. Tanya wishes she lived closer. Adam is telling us.
Adam's just cheersing us all over the place. Adam's gonna come too. We'll get him.
And how maybe, it's
gonna go. Adam, you can bring your new wife.
Oh, just got married. Amazing. Yeah. So let's talk about. Let's stop putting off the conversation about procrastination. I mean, we've been.
Why would we talk about this now when we can talk about it tomorrow?
Yeah. I'm on a kick with procrastination. I feel like it's my new favorite word. I built a program around it, and I am like the classic kind of procrastinator where like once I start a thing, I can do it, but I will think about doing the thing for a really long time and like crap on myself for not doing the thing, plan the thing, write out a thing for planning it. L2, Lauren Howard wants to come. You can come. You know where I live. And when I was in corporate, I had this structure around me where like I couldn't put some things off because I was busy. I was a busy lady. I worked all the time, which is
so important.
0 stars. But I was always responding to other people's stuff. And if I had my own stuff, I had to squeeze it in. I didn't have a choice because there was like no other time to do it. And then I went out on my own and I was like, freedom. Where's my boss?
This is why we should be required to have like VAs or something, right? Because then they would be the boss. This is the problem with procrastinators. So is that we do all the things, right?
Yes.
Like, and we can do all of them because we procrastinate all of like the shit we don't want to do, which leaves plenty of room for us to fill in time and then be like, oh, I just don't have time.
Right.
Unfortunately, I don't. And like, and I'm such a, you want to talk about like finding things to do to fill up the time so you don't have to do the things. I work full time for a company called Duckbill Group. We are consultants and we help people reduce their cloud costs, like their AWS spend. It's so much fun. I love it. I love my team. Who knew that I would think that Kubernetes clusters weren't something that you drizzled with caramel and dipped in your coffee? But I teach 1 to 2 courses a semester all year long for VCU Da Vinci Center. I teach entrepreneurship, venture creation, and launching this fall for the first time ever, we'll be offering a course on how to build and leverage your professional LinkedIn network to get a job for college students, which is really exciting. That's my baby. So I do that. And then I always have a couple of consulting clients just kind of like working to help them build out their revenue growth strategy. I'm driven by kind of fair, like that's something that's really important to me. So I try to spend as much time as I can either working with under supported founders, so female founders, LGBTQIA plus community members, Black and Brown founders, you name it. Like I try to spend as much time either working with them or mentoring them. And then on top of it, I just started writing my own, like a digital course for college students, helping them to find a job. I love to travel. So I'm a digital nomad, and I have a 21-year-old, a 20-year-old, and a 16-year-old, 2 dogs, and a cat. So when I say things like, oh, I just didn't have time to put my notes in my CRM, the reason I didn't have time is because I probably took another job just so I didn't have to do that because I hate it.
Yeah, I know. So you do more things than I do.
By design.
I thought I did a lot of things, but you do more things than I do.
Moderately well.
Bow to you as the busier one. But I left my corporate life where I worked 80 to 100 hours a week for many years and had clients on the side who I was like living vicariously through clients on the side, helping them build their best resumes, helping them figure out what they wanted to be when they grew up, helping them get that, find balance, set boundaries. And I was like, but that's for them. That's not for me. My job doesn't allow for that. And when I realized that I was just a big fat liar, right? Like the lies we tell ourselves about the things that are inflexible.
So true.
I realized that I was using work. Nobody was asking me to do the things I was doing.
Right.
But I was a hand raiser, and every time I volunteered, they were like, oh, Lauren does that. Okay. Right. He owns it now. And so I ended up just like, I was always the interim manager of departments. And at any time I could have said like, no, I only do HR. Right. But I didn't. And then I finally did. I hired my own coach, which like novel idea that if you're coaching people, you should also be getting coached. And I worked my way down from 80 to 100 hours a week to 40. And then I was like, uh-oh, I think I'm boring. I don't have anything to do. I'm so bored. So I launched a business, like officially, instead of just ad hoc taking people who came to me. And I work with Katie McManus. She's my business strategist. Love her.
I love her.
And
if you don't know her, she's my favorite weenie expert.
Oh my gosh, she's so great. I'm so jealous that you got to spend time with her recently. But I did get to meet her, and I met Luna. So that was like,
oh, I didn't get to meet Luna. So you one-upped me on that one. But we did have a pajama party.
It's like our one-up game because it's like not intentionally competitive, and we're both impressed with each other. So that's pretty cool.
Fine.
So I realized I could do like whatever I wanted. And the first time I talked to Katie, I was like, I want to start my own business and I want to be out on my own, but in 5 years. And she was like, cool. Why are you waiting so long? And I was like, oh, because I'm scared. Right? Like it's so easy to procrastinate it and put it out there in the future. And one of the things I learned from Katie was that I didn't know how to accept help. Like I was always the person people came to for stuff. So I was always solving all the problems and like doling out the extra work and whatever. But it never occurred to me that like, not only could I get help, but I deserved it. And so we went from 5 years on that first call. We went from a 5-year plan in my head, which was really like a 100-year plan. Like I really
probably never actually. It seems like a fun dream.
Yeah, fun dream. Seems neat. And we went from that to 1 year, and then I gave my notice in 3 months.
That's amazing.
I gave a 3-month notice, which was like my last, like throwing myself to the ground as the martyr act of people-pleasing workaholism. When I gave my notice, we were required, which is, by the way, if you work in a company and you don't have like an actual contract that says that you owe them money if you quit without notice, you're not actually required. Even though I wrote the handbook and I put the requirement in, I did put it in though as a suggestion, as a request, because
Right.
I told my CEO it is not legal to make people do that. So it was a request, but I wanted to honor that because I wrote the policy. And so 1 month notice was the way to go. 2 months notice was the overachiever, workaholic, people pleaser. And 3 months notice was the CEO saying, can you stay longer, please?
And you saying, of course.
And I was
That's
like,
me.
okay, I will. And also I want some clients from the company, and I got them.
Right.
So that was like a nice, win for most of
Right.
us.
That's a good kind of compromise
Yeah.
negotiation thing.
And then I was out, and then I was like, cool, what do I do? And Katie was like, whatever you want. And I was like, I don't know how to do that.
You're like, hey, I'm not supervised. Does anybody know that I'm not supervised right now? What the fuck is happening? Oh, it's so funny how our brains think alike, because I just posted about this on LinkedIn the other day, because I've been wanting to do this digital course forever. And so I kept thinking, I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to do it. But one of the things that I learned this year was how to ask for help. And I know that sounds like such a simple concept, but like you, I'm the person who people come to solve problems and to come up with strategies and to make everything okay and all of that. And so it's very, very hard. But in my defense, I was unsupervised. Yes, Lee, that is not a good defense for me anymore. But maybe that's how I'll continue to stay out of jail. Anyway, so it started with such a little thing, but I've been surfing for 10 years. And when I say I've been surfing for 10 years, what I mean is I've been falling off my board into waves until I couldn't pull myself onto the board anymore. And then I drag myself up onto the beach and be like, oh, that was such a good surf day. No joke. I can count the number of waves that I caught as a surfer on both of my hands across 10 years. But it didn't matter because I loved it and I could figure it out, and I watched YouTube videos and those types of things. But after I hurt my ankle, my first surgeon told me that I would always walk with a limp and I would definitely never surf again. So I got a new surgeon because like the ocean is a thing for me, and there was no way, even if the rest of my life was just falling off a board, that I wasn't going to not get on a board. So I got a new surgeon and he said, yes, we can get you on a board. And then I got a physical therapist. I started with them in January of this year. And I said, my goal is within a year to surf. And she took a look at all my things. She goes, 3 months. And I was like, what? She goes, 3 months. I'll get you on a surfboard in 3 months. And so I booked a 3-week trip to Costa Rica for 3 months. Like that was my thing. I was like, I, by God, better be able to get on the board by then. Like this is what's going to keep me going and active and like really excited about my physical therapy. But her caveat was that I had to look at surfing like I was a beginner, and I had to hire a coach, and I had to start from scratch. And so that was really her way of saying, you have to learn how to ask for help on this. And so I did. I went down. I had a surf instructor for 3 weeks. We surfed for 2 to 3 hours every single day. And I had to change my stance. I'm goofy footed, so I had to go ungoofy foot, which was kind of weird. Every single thing about my surfing, I had to relearn from scratch. And the first day, I caught more waves than I had in an entire decade of trying to teach myself how to surf. And that was a moment for me where it's like, ding, like the little light bulb was over my head, and I was surfing. And so I was afraid I was going to get electrocuted, and it was real bad. But, and that's when I was like, oh, I need to start asking for help. And so I've very intentionally done that, but not like in my career or anything, because I didn't need it for that. But I did ask someone, right, never.
Yeah.
Exactly. But I did ask somebody to teach me how to dirt bike and how to shoot clays and how to ride a skateboard and how to windsurf and how to electric surfboard and like all of the axe throw, all these things. Like I started asking people Oh, so goofy footed means that I always surfed with my left foot forward. And now, because my left foot is the one that I injured, I have to surf with my left foot back. But most people surf with their left foot back. So that's regular footed, and goofy footed is with your left foot forward. So for me, I went from like the not normal one to the normal one, which is also kind of weird for me. Like I was like, but I like surfing goofy footed just because I like being able to say that I surf goofy footed. Um, so then when I went to go do this course, and I was like, you know what? I have my fuck it bucket. Wait, am I allowed to say that? Have I already said it?
You already
How many
said
times
it.
have I said that? Oh, I did.
I
Is
mean,
it
no, you
okay?
can't say it now. Like
I
just now.
know, but I
Yeah.
mean, but is this the first time I said it the whole time?
This is the first time you said it the whole time. I do not work in a restricted or regulated environment. I work for Lauren Lefkowitz Coaching. We don't have any
Okay.
rules.
Okay,
Yeah.
no rules. Okay, perfect. So I have this thing, and you know about it. And if you know me, you know about it. And it's called my fuck it bucket. And basically, anytime I'm afraid to do anything, I write down all the reasons why I'm afraid, all the reasons I shouldn't do it, why it's risky, everything. And then I literally take my piece of paper and I wad it up and I throw it into a bucket that someone on LinkedIn sent me, which is amazing, that says fuck it bucket on it. And I just go, fuck it, I'm doing it. And so I did that, and I sat down to write the plan, and all of a sudden it hit me, oh, this would be a really good time to ask for help. Right? Like
Mhm.
I'm really, really afraid of this, and of all of the things that it takes. So I reached out to like my people, my group of women I work with, and I said, does anybody know a course creator? And Ariel Lee was like, oh, well, Leah Turner used Lucy Griffith and like loves her, so you might want to check her out. So I reached out. Leah introduced me to Lucy. Lucy is fucking amazing, like absolutely stunningly brilliant, wonderful heart, like kind person. And while we're on our first call, I was like, done, you're hired, we're doing it. And it's quite an investment. Like it's a pretty significant investment, but it's worth it. Like every time I talk to her, she moves it forward so fast.
Yeah.
And that's when I started thinking, oh yeah, maybe I should start asking for help like at work too, weirdly. So I'm testing that. I'm still in the testing phase.
Yeah. It's so easy to step out of procrastination when there's someone to help you. I do a lot of things. One of the things I'm doing is writing a book. And I've never written a book before. I've written before. I write all the time. I love to write. I love
Right.
storytelling. I'm good at it. It's fun
Your
for me.
LinkedIn posts are super fun and engaging, and yeah.
You know? And I've been sitting on this book for a couple of reasons. One, I needed some time to go by because I'm writing about the experience of breaking my shoulders, is sort of the start of the book. What happened after, which was like horrible care and neglect at the rehabs that I was in and things like that, and a really long recovery. And sort of the before of living the life of a workaholic perfectionist people pleaser and not knowing how to get out of it, and not knowing that I even could, and then the path forward to like actually doing it. So there was a part of me that was waiting for my life to be perfect so that I could write like a super happy ending tied up in a ribbon.
Oh yeah. So when's
Yeah,
that? Do you have that scheduled already?
I'm winning the lottery tonight.
Okay, cool.
The Mega Millions is like a lot of money.
Totally fine.
And the guy asked me,
And then you're going to be happy
then I'll
when
be
you've won
happy.
the lottery,
Well,
and your
yeah, then
life
I'll
will
be
be
happy.
over.
Yeah. The guy at
Okay.
the store asked me if I wanted to like play the double chance or whatever. And I was like, no, 800 million is good enough for me. Thanks. So, uh,
I'll just say 800 million. That's totally fine.
I'll just take the 800. It's cool. So I was going to win the lottery, get married. I'm not dating anybody, but you know,
I mean, you'll
that
attract somebody with 800 million.
it's true.
Guaranteed.
All I need is the 800 million. No big deal. And also like interest and trying to date and, you know, all of
Right.
that.
All that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't really make time for that when I was working all those hours. And
You
now there's time for it. And
procrastinated.
I'm like, what do people do? I'm in my 40s. I don't know how to date. How do you do that? I tried some of the dating apps and they are
no.
really scary. But anyway, that was a short little stint. But so I had this like idea in my head that I would fix all of my problems. I would have $1 million business and whatever I wanted, right? Like a puppy farm of rescued puppies, who knows, right?
Awesome.
But then I realized that like just loving myself and being happy is like a really nice ending. So, and like how I got there and how I embraced help and love and support and including my own, which I didn't have any of when I was in my old life. So anyway, so I'm writing this book now. That was a really long intro to I'm writing a book. And
you're gonna put all of that on the back cover. That whole like, let's just transcribe it and put that whole.
I need
thing.
the book to be 9 by 11 feet.
Number 6 font. It's totally fine.
Right. Yeah. Well, that's why you get an editor. So I've been sitting on it because I didn't know what to like do to start, and I was referred to a book coach. Who like a year ago, I was referred to her memoir writing class. And I was like, oh, I don't need a class. I need a person. Like I knew that. I knew I was not going to be happy sitting in a class. But the same person got recommended to me as an individual book coach a year later by somebody who had just dropped off her book at Reese Witherspoon's office. So I'm like, I want to work with this lady. So I'm working with her now starting in August, and our very first call, like our intro call, she was so generous and she was like, here's how you figure out your outline. And for our first call, send me your outline and chapter 1. And that was all I needed. Now I'm writing. But I could procrastinate and I could say like, well, I don't know how to do it. And I could just keep putting it off until like forever. But it's this whole book is sitting inside of me and I don't want to live like that. And this whole life was sitting inside of me and I was just living like that, working all these hours instead of like choosing my life. And so that's why procrastination has become like a big word for me. Because I still do it. Like I haven't learned my lesson, right? It's the kind of thing that you just keep learning over and over.
Right. But when you recognize it, I feel like you get, even if it's incrementally, like 1% faster or better or less procrastination-y.
Yeah.
It's a word. Look it up. Don't look it up yet. I still have to submit it to Webster's next week. I'll do it next week. But like what? So I can't remember who did it. This is not my math. This is not my thing, right? But if you get 1% better every day for a year, then at the end of the year, you're almost 38% better. Right? Like that's crazy because that means that you're that much farther along. But if you can recognize it, it's when you can't recognize it, I feel like, or if you do recognize it, but you don't have any tools in your toolbox. I feel like Austin Powers, I'm like, allow myself to introduce myself. But you don't have the right tools to help you deal with it, right? But like once you start to recognize it and then you have tools, every single time it comes up, you have the opportunity to be like, oh, I know what I'm doing. And now I know why I'm doing it. And now I know how to stop doing it. Maybe just slightly faster than you would have stopped doing it before. But every single time that you do that, then you get better.
Yeah. I love to have a conversation with myself about like why I'm procrastinating something. And it often comes down to like, I'm not sure why I'm doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Or I feel scared to ask for help because I think I'll look stupid.
Yeah.
And the truth is we're not supposed to know everything. That's why people have specialties. I'm just learning that. Yeah. Or
you don't know what to ask for. I feel like for me, that's probably one of my biggest hurdles is a lot of times I don't know what to ask for. I just can look at the people around me and go, I don't know why that I can't do this, but I can't do it. And luckily I have enough amazing people around me that they'll be like, we know why you can't do it. Here, take this resource. Like I call it tabula rasa syndrome. I'm not sure if I made that up or heard it somewhere, but I think it's really clever. Like the blank slate, right? If I get a blank page in front of me, I don't even know how to write my name. I'm like, what is my name? Who am I? Do I exist? Am I a person? Dog? Vegetable? I don't know.
Space between April and frickin', or is it
Yeah,
like one?
no. It's a, do I capitalize all of the, I have no, does it always have a hashtag? I don't know. But if somebody even sends me a Google Doc with like 4 topics on it, all of a sudden I can write. I can do the thing, right? Or if they send me an Excel spreadsheet that has a couple of little things in there, I'm like, oh, got it. So sometimes I just don't even know what to ask for other than like, just say, I can't do this because it's blank.
Right.
You can't see Lauren L2 can't think in a blank space. You've got tabula rasa syndrome too.
Yep. Yeah. I think that's my problem too, is like I don't know what I don't know.
Schrodinger's cat.
Yeah.
All these ideas are in my head, or maybe they're not. I'm not sure.
Right? Do I even have a head?
Do I have a head? Do I have ideas?
Yeah. I once I have a prompt, like when I was on your live, you sent me a questionnaire to fill out. And I looked at the questionnaire and I was like, I know all the answers to these. I have 7 stories for each question. But if you said like, why don't you come up with what we should talk about on my live? I'd be like, I don't know. What am I even good at? I don't even know what I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lauren says she wastes so much time and she doesn't have an outline.
Yeah. I would pay people so much money for templates of the things that I need in my life. And I Googled that a lot, actually. Like, the other day I was putting together a sales sequence for a customer, and it's easy, right? Like this is not hard. You take a Google Doc and you say, step 1, connect with them on LinkedIn. Step 2, but I couldn't do it. I don't know why I couldn't do it. I could do it in my head. I finally ended up going into outreach.io, which is a tool that I use on a regular basis, writing the sequence into their sequence builder, and then like making that small and putting a document beside it on my computer and like transcribing it over. It took me twice as long as it should have taken, but it would have taken me 5 times as long to even start writing on the Google Doc. I don't know why it was so hard for me, but at the moment I had the template, good. I was good.
Yeah. I get real mad when I can't just figure something out.
Yeah.
Like I use a mail system, I use MailerLite, and like I still can't figure it out. I keep hiring a person who does tech VA work. Like every 3 or 4 months, I bring her back in and I'm like, I don't think I ruined anything, but like, I don't know what I'm doing. And she organizes it for me. And then I start doing things on my own and I realize I've dropped some people and, and it makes
me. Have you tried Superhuman? Superhuman's that is the reason why. So my thing is on Fridays, I get my work email box down to 0. That's a rule for me. Well, tell me how many unread emails you have right now if you look at your phone.
66 on 3 different accounts.
I don't know if you can see this or not.
34,421.
Yeah. 34,000 unread emails in my non-primary work emails. But my work one gets down to 0, and it's because I use Superhuman. It's the most amazing tool ever for email, in my opinion.
I feel like you're a salesperson for Superhuman. And also I want to know.
Yeah, I don't get any royalties for this. I don't get any
kickback. I want to know what it is.
None. But it is amazing. It's absolutely fantastic. It's just a way, it's a program, it hooks in your email, but it's a way of organizing and dealing with them. What I found is what I want in my email inbox, what I would love, like my dream, is that I have all of these folders on the side and they're all like neatly labeled. And then every single email goes into, the correct folder and whatever. The reality is, if I need to find an email, I use search. And if I need to find something on my phone, I use search. And If I need to find something in my Google Drive, I just use search. And that's kind of where superhuman comes in. Like, I'm an excellent Googler. And so I can Google shit up in one of my various different things that I use. And that's kind of what it plays off of is you kind of keep everything in archives.
Mm.
And if you need it, you just search keywords and then it pops it up and it pops up all of the related things. It's a neat system. And no, I don't get paid by them.
I'll check it
But
out.
they should pay me. Hint, hint, hint.
Yeah.
Superhuman.
I know. I keep trying to, I have a lot of like things that I want to do or try to do, you know, like, or plan to plan. And Asana or Asana, everybody
Yeah,
pronounces
Asana.
it. Feels like the right system for me. And every time I go in, I'll put in like 2 things and then I'll be like, I don't know how to do this. And I'll quit.
Same. Yeah.
I don't like being a beginner.
This part go here and here. I don't know which one. Maybe
Right.
I'll make a new column for it. Now I have 4 T6 columns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's talk about like how we actually get shit done, right? Because like we do, I'm a successful adult woman,
right?
Yep. Like I've acquired clients, I've worked with them, I've helped them be successful. I put pants on every day, soft pants, not hard pants.
You do? Okay.
Yeah, I do. I'm
just checking to see what I have on right now. They're pants.
I mean, they're not like real pants. They're like Walmart sweatpants.
See, Tanya gets overwhelmed by Asana too. I use Trello, but again, see, here's the beauty.
Trello and I was like, it's too simple for me.
Here's what people don't know is you can Google Asana template for blah or Trello template for blah. And there's an entire universe of templates out there that you can use and like repurpose, redo. And like, that's how I built the Trello boards that I can follow is I started with someone else's Trello board, made a copy, and then repurposed it into what I wanted it to be. And like, they don't even have to be in a related field. It's just that you end up with an outline. You have cards, things that are hooked, and then you can kind of go from there. So that's how I've used it because I love it. And it needs to be simple because I can overcomplicate it real fast. But if I had just started with a blank page and no cards, then I wouldn't have anything at all.
Yeah, that's sort of how I feel. I like started building a card with contacts with like people. And then I was like, this feels hard and I don't understand how it will connect to anything else. And like, I want it to act as a little bit of a CRM and it seems like it could. But Tanya, that's so cute.
I love that. Like, do you have to make your own little fill-ins or are they still in business? My dad uses a Frank.
That's amazing. I am impressed that that actually feels functional for you in this digital world. I want to know your ways.
Oh, wait. Can I give a shout out real quick while we're doing this? Because I'm really excited about this is I just a couple weeks ago, I ran across a post by someone on LinkedIn who said that she had built out a special planner that's designed for sales women. And I was like, I fully, hey, they were little tiny snorts.
Tanya, that just makes it laugh harder. Sorry.
They were like weensy tiny little snorts, Tanya. I'm so sorry. Okay, hang on. Lauren files every single email in her inbox when she's done with it. She's human chaos, but her inbox is zen. I recognize the zen in your inbox and I honor it, Lauren, and I'm envious of it. So anyway, so Tanya had posted this thing, and I'm one of those people who I go to the store and I see a notebook or a planner, and I just know if I buy that and the perfect pen, when I get it home and open it and start writing in it, my life will just come together. I will stop being a hot mess. Everything will be organized. This is it. This is the planner that will make me a normal human being. And so I have like probably 150 different planners and notebooks that I believe. And it doesn't work. But when I saw Tanya's, I was like, okay, I'm going to try it. So I ordered it. It's absolutely amazing. Hang on. So if you can see it here, find it on LinkedIn. So this is her book, and it's called Work It Girl, a modern day career guide for women in sales. But the beautiful part is this planner, a modern day sales planner. Does that come up backwards when
Yeah.
I do it like this?
Yeah,
Okay.
but I think we're all pretty mirror
It's
or
amazing. Like the whole thing has got like my quota, my top accounts, it's got planning. You can see I've really been using. I am though. I am going to use it because it is absolutely beautiful. And this is the one. This is the one that's going to change my life and turn me into an organized non-procrastinator. I promise.
congrats.
It is.
What besides this magical thing? Oh, that's nice. A first-time visitor, loving the conversation. Good,
Hi, Carl.
glad you're here. So in like real life though,
Yeah. You mean not in my fantasies?
what are some things that you do that have actually helped you to not live in procrastination in every area of your life?
Okay. One big thing that I did, and this turns out is kind of controversial, which is so unlike me to do something that's controversial.
Yeah, you're so like mainstream and just
I
vanilla,
know
follow the
I
flow.
am. I'm like vanilla, not even like vanilla bean either. In February, I was talking. In February, I was talking to my therapist, and one of the things that we've been dealing with is my anxiety. I have a very, very high level of anxiety about like everything. So we were talking about my anxiety, and she had put me on Lexapro in November, and it turns out that me and Lexapro, not a good match. I was crying all the time over everything, all the
Mm,
time. I couldn't get anything done. I felt completely out of control. It just was not a good fit for me. So we tapered off. All of this I did in conjunction with my psychiatrist and my psychologist and my general practitioner. So for any of those people who want to pop in and be like, I did it under supervision, which is very rare for me. So we were talking about my anxiety, and I just mentioned, I was like, the problem is that I just feel so overwhelmed. And I'm so overwhelmed that I can't get things done. And then when I can't get things done, the list gets longer. And then that makes me even more overwhelmed. And I just don't know where to start. And so I don't start. And so this is like, I'm literally defining procrastination. And
mhm,
she said, well, it sounds like maybe your problem is more around executive function than it is actually managing anxiety. Maybe if we can help you with your executive function or your organizational, your mind's ability to organize things so that you know where to start, it might decrease your anxiety. Why don't we try Adderall? Because you definitely have ADHD, like you've tried behavioral things, they're obviously not working, but let's just try it for a week and see what happens. So she put me on a very low dose of Adderall. I take 5 milligrams a day. That's like, it's nothing. It's like licking the outside of a cup of coffee, right? It's so, like the normal dose for an adult is 40 milligrams once or twice a day, right? Like this is not, I take 5 milligrams once a day. The first day I took it, it was like somebody had lifted the dam. Like all of a sudden I was like, oh, well, if I just do this one thing, then I can check it off and it will allow me to do this other thing. And I thought, well, maybe this is like psychosomatic a little bit, right? Like this is
yeah.
the placebo effect. So I've been taking it since February and it changed my life. Does not mean I'm not a procrastinator, but it does mean that procrastination for me is now more of a habit and a choice than it is a coping mechanism for not being able to figure out where to start.
Mhm.
So if I owe you a text message or a phone call or a quote or something, bye Tanya, love you. Hug your grandbabies for us. If I owe you something, what I'm telling you now is that it's more of a choice and less of a
Sorry.
sorry. Love you mean it. I don't know. God, I can't believe I just said that out loud. But so that was a huge thing for me. And it's something that has a lot of stigma around it. When I started talking about it on LinkedIn, I started getting a lot of really, really ugly messages from people who were telling me, like, grow up and be a goddamn adult, just do the thing. You're obviously doing it to try to lose weight because you're looking fluffy. That was well, they didn't say fluffy, they said something much worse. It's like so many different comments, right? Oh, you're going to become addicted and you're not, like, you're going to lose your children. I was like, I mean, they're practically adults, so like they'll just emancipate them anyway. It's fine, they take care of themselves. So all of these things that people started to say, but I knew that this was the best thing for me, so I continue to take my Adderall. I love it. It's been a game changer. The habit of procrastinating, that rush of endorphins that I get when I wait until the last minute to do something, and then I bang out the first draft and it's fucking brilliant and better than what like 90% of other people could do with 5 drafts, and get it in right in time. That is actually the addiction for me, right? Adderall has nothing to do with that. I love that.
Yeah.
And so I've had to train myself out of that. And Linda, yes, like
Yeah,
mental
Linda.
health is such a personal, intimate thing, and how to deal with it is very personal. I put everything out on LinkedIn, almost everything, because I believe in being really authentic and kind of bringing your whole self to the platform. So I open myself up to it, and it's fine, right? Like most of the time I just tell people to fuck off and then I block them. So
Right.
if they're really rude, if they're not, I'll have a conversation with them. But if they're just rude, like if they tell me I'm taking Adderall because I'm fat, I'm like, yeah, I'll just sit on you. So you don't have enough breath to say mean things. So that for me, untraining myself from doing that has been hard, because I've spent my whole life since I can remember, right? I'm 43 years old. And even like in second grade, when we learned our multiplication tables, I would wait until I was walking into the classroom to start like figuring them out on my fingers to memorize them, whatever I had to do for the day.
Mhm.
So, you're talking about over 3 decades of habit.
Yeah.
Um, yes, Linda, we should treat our minds like we treat other
Yeah.
parts of our body.
Yes. I've seen a lot
I
of
completely
stuff like,
agree.
why are our teeth special bones, our ears special cartilage,
Right.
and our
Yeah.
brain special health? Like it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. It's that, you remember that old song where it's like your head bone's connected to your neck bone or whatever, right? Like it's all connected. So some of the things that I have done, I love checking things off. That's something that's really, really satisfying for me. So I've started, I try to write down my top 3 priorities for the day, and then 3 like would be nice to do's.
Mhm.
And what I will allow myself to do is, if I can get one of my top priorities checked off, and I mean, that feels good. I do that on pen and paper and I go, ching, and it's like, oh my God, I'm amazing. I deserve a break. This thing that I've been procrastinating for 8 weeks that I just did in 8 minutes, now I
Yeah.
should take a 2-hour break because I did it. It's amazing.
Yeah.
So I do this, and then instead of taking that 2-hour break, I let myself do one of the lower, like one of the nice to do's.
Mhm.
And what I find is, if I can get through those 3 top priorities of the day, then I'm good. I just call it, right? I'm like, anything else that I get done today, it's an extra win, right?
Yeah.
But um I don't have to do anything else today, and I can feel like that I've done the thing. I also, I don't know how good this is or not, but I set false deadlines for myself. Like
Mm.
I just do. So I tell myself I have to get this done by this time, even if it's not due by then. If I don't need to get it back to a client or whatever it is, I set myself a false deadline. If I miss it, I set another one, and then I like make myself sit down at my computer and just do the thing, right? I'm like, this is it. I'm time boxing it. I have 30 minutes to get this done, and I'm going to do it in 30 minutes. and then I can get up and whatever, have a glass of wine, go for a walk, pet my dogs, read a chapter of the book that I'm reading, whatever it is. So definitely still like kind of kindergarten level, like dangling treats in front of myself, but it's been, I feel like it's better, right? And
Yeah.
so hopefully someday it will get to the point where it feels like it's not such a struggle, but
Yeah.
you don't break 3+ decades of habit and personality and behaviors that you've adapted in 3 months. You just don't.
Right. Yeah. I everything's new for me because I've only been on my own now for a year. And so I do feel like a kindergartner. Like I wake up in the morning and I'm like, what are we doing today? And then I'm the only one who has the answer. So there's no kindergarten teacher with me who's like, here's what we're going to start with. We're going to start with our morning song, right? So so I've been building habits. I've been using a habit tracker, not as consistently as I want to, but I'm using it. And I have a 5 or 6 habits in the morning that I'm actually throughout the day that I'm trying to like really get into a rhythm with. And there was a point in time where I have a friend who's going for a medical billing certification, and she was having trouble sitting down to do it. So I was like, I heroed up and I was like, well, why don't we virtually co-work? I'll help you concentrate, right? Like so generous of me. And we sat down for our first hour. I know.
You're like, hey, I'll procrastinate the things that I have to do to help you not procrastinate the things that you need to do.
All right. And so we had our first hour and I was like, man, I got so much done. And we worked together for a couple of months. She's now working at a summer camp, so she's taking a breather from it. But I was like, this is a thing, right? And I started mentioning it to other people and they were like, oh, I'd love to have coworkers. I'd love to, I work by myself. And I know you joined a club, didn't you, April?
Yeah, a co-working space that's
Yeah.
like, it's called Common House. I kind of call it like the co-working country club because like they'll bring you food and wine while you sit at the rooftop pool and work, and so like it's not
Yeah.
oppressive at all
No,
whatsoever.
but it's like
But I
nice
don't get shit
coworkers.
done there, not at all. Like I see, because Richmond's a small big city, right? So I walk in, I'm like, oh hey, oh hey, oh hey, and so I know everyone. I leave with like 3 podcast appearances and a new client and an appointment to get my nails done, but no work done at all whatsoever.
Great. So that's not the solution.
Yeah, no,
Well,
that's not the solution. It
so
is
I
for other
built,
people. Common House is amazing. Ah.
so I built this Procrastinators Power Hour program. It's a membership. It's like a gym membership, but I'm not going to make you like do physical exercise. But you can if that's what you want to do for the hour, right? So everybody comes in, we take 5 minutes to set our intentions and say what we're going to do. And it's been everything from like, I'm learning Canva. I need to prepare my presentation. I need to prepare for my presentation. I need to clean my bathroom. I need to clean my desk. I am going to write emails, whatever it is. We're all doing different stuff, but we're setting our intention and then we're going on mute. And some of us stay on camera, some stay off camera, depending on your distraction level. And then we come back at 55 after the hour and talk about what we did. And we celebrate the accomplishments. We acknowledge if we took on too much for the hour or if we got sidetracked. And we're all getting a lot of stuff done. So
That's
join the club.
amazing. Yeah, I'm in for this.
Yeah. And we do it twice a week, Tuesdays at 3 p.m. Eastern and Thursdays at 11 a.m. Eastern. And you can do a drop-in where you just like pay for one session like you would if you didn't belong to a gym, but you wanted to go to their class. Or you can become a member and come as many times as you want a month. And it's totally fun. And it's working to have coworkers. And then the hour ends and I'm like already in it, right? For me, that procrastination is getting started. Then I'm already in it. And then like,
right.
I'm going to.
And then the rest of the day, you're like, this isn't how I type, by the way, but I always do this. I'm like, then you're just like typing away.
Yeah. Well, this isn't how I talk on the phone, but it's how I acknowledge talking.
Is it not? Because that's how I talk on the phone.
Yeah.
With my banana phone. Totally fine. Remember way back in the day when it was like the princess shoe? Oh, what did she?
Oh, I had a clear phone. I had like, it was just.
Oh, yeah. You could see the wires.
Things. Yeah.
Yeah. That was super cool. I always wanted the tennis shoe phone. It was like not practical at all, but really stinking cool.
I always wanted the duck phone from Silver Spoons. Do you remember that show, Silver Spoons, with Ricky Schroeder?
With Ricky, yeah.
Yeah.
That's how you type. Like we've got somebody. What is your morning song? What's the song you sing in the morning?
Oh, that was what I was asking about, my kindergarten life.
Yeah, no, I know. But do you have a song that you wake up to?
Do I have a song I wake up to? No,
Mhm.
I don't. I have a couple of like on my own high school songs. But not anything that like gets me up in the morning. I'm not amazing until like 10 a.m. Like 10 a.m. is my like, oh, the day has started time. When I actually get up and I walk the dog and all of that, I'm pretty dead asleep. Well, it's been nice seeing you, April.
All right, now y'all got to see what pants I'm wearing. I am wearing pants, which is a win. My middle kid just came home from work, so
Yes.
no, I'm super glad that I am wearing them. I'm the same way. I am a night owl, so that's one other thing that I have started to do. Now that I'm single, one of the things that I think is really interesting is that I've been listening to my own circadian rhythms a little bit more. I've always been a night owl. And so I don't set an alarm in the morning anymore at all. I sleep until I'm ready to wake up, or sometimes I wake up and I just lay in bed and I'm like just not ready to face the day, right? So I'm the same. Around 10 o'clock, I get up. I like to, I drink this. I drink 2 of these a day that's filled with collagen, and like powdered greens and healthy stuff. And I'll work until like 5, and then I'll hang out with my kids for a little bit, and then I'll work maybe from like 7 to 9, and then I'll hang out with my kids for a little bit, and then I'll take a bath or whatever. But I love to like climb in bed with my laptop and work from 11 to 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. I get so much done during that time. And it's because my brain is on fire. I'm awake, I feel good, whatever. And then I check so many things off my list that my brain turns off so that I can actually go to sleep. And then I just close my laptop and I zonk like that. Hey, cuz. So Thomas isn't actually my cousin, but we're both from the same area of Kentucky. So there's an assumption there that we're related in some way.
Yeah. That's awesome. April, we meant to go for 30 to 45 minutes and we're hitting
an hour.
You are so awesome. I could talk to you forever. Thank you so much for being with me and hanging out with everybody here and just being awesome.
Oh, thank you. I love you. I'm so glad that we're friends. It makes me so happy.
Me too.
I can't wait for us to get to meet in real life. And again, if y'all are in the Baltimore, DC, Richmond area and you want to come to our happy hour, we're planning it now. Sometime in August, now that it's already the end of July. And Andrew's gonna come. Hey, Andrew. Hi.
Yep.
So and Mark says we helped him procrastinate something that he's supposed to be doing. So you're very welcome for that.
Amazing.
Perfect. But awesome. So like slide into our DMs. Let us know if you're in the area and you want to come to our happy hour. We're building out a group chat. And I can't wait to join the procrastination happy hour. Do we get to drink? Is that a thing?
You can do whatever you want. If you've been procrastinating drinking and you're like, this is
I don't. That's the one thing I don't ever procrastinate. Wine at 5 o'clock is something that I do not procrastinate. So although I accidentally kind of stopped drinking like about 2 weeks ago, and it was just one of those things where I just kind of like stopped. So now I'm waiting to see, when does the skinny happen? Like it's supposed to, right? Yeah, Adderall didn't do it for me, obviously, if you ask the dude in my DMs.
That's funny.
All right. I love you. I adore you.
Thank you
so much for having me on.
Thank you for being here. Thanks everyone for being here and playing in the conversation with us. And we'll see you soon.